What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Geektastic Cypher here on Free X Agents Media. You guys can always check us out at FXA Media on YouTube or at Geektastic Cypher on Twitch. And yeah, man, we're here. We're doing another one. 355.
Yep.
Jesus. You know what, though? I was noticing something the other day that was really, really annoying me. And I think Skinny actually tried to make this point a couple years ago that other people were doing this thing. And I didn't realize at the time what he meant. And I noticed it the other day and I was like, oh, this is what he was saying. Some shows are doing seasons and then running like 20 something episodes. So they may have started a year ago, but or 2 years ago, but their numbers say like season 2 episode 20, but they just write it as 220.
Okay.
And it looks like they've done 220 episodes.
So just tricking the algorithm. That's what the internet now is.
Well, I'm looking at this thing and I'm just like, because no shade to my cousin, because it's his podcast that I noticed it was being done. And I'm going to hit him up and tease him about it at some point. But my cousin's podcast is up to like episode 111 and they just started not too long ago. And I'm like, how is he at 111 episodes? And I was just like, that's not possible. And then I realized, oh no, season 1, episode 11. I was like, you sick bastards. Y'all good? You look like you're seeing a ghost. I was just watching Doctor Who and the silence were in the episode. And
no. My cat's being my cat. That's all. I just fed her and she's just like, now I want your attention because I didn't see you all day. And it's like, yeah, but if I give you attention, then you don't care. She's like, how dare you?
Cats are.
Now I'm talking about her. She's like, I'm out of here.
Right. Right.
Talking smack about me, I'm gone.
The second you look at them, they're just like, why are you looking at me? And then when you're not paying attention to them, they're just like, yo, I'm over here. Look at me. I'm doing stuff.
I don't know if the mic will pick her up, but she's like, hey, stop talking about me. I bet she's going to like get a whole band and be like, I heard that you were talking. You didn't think I would hear it.
Cats are hilarious. I have been bugging my partner to let me get a hamster for the longest time. Speaking of pets,
cat battles
and
of the doghouse.
It's just because I'm allergic to cats, and it's unfortunate. And trust me, I wish I wasn't because I do love cats. Cats are fantastic. I think they're super cool. Yeah. Before I knew I was allergic, I would hang out and play with cats all the time, and it wasn't an issue. And then when you're young and you start to realize like, oh, every time I play with a cat, I can't breathe for 2 days, and then you're just like, oh, it's allergies. My lungs are shutting down. Noted.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, once you get past that point and you start to understand what it is, it's just like, okay, well, I have to avoid you at all costs. You are a danger to me.
But then they're like, wait, you're avoiding me. Why are you avoiding me?
Oh my God.
Here.
Yes.
I'm going to come over there.
Yes. The second a cat knows you are not down to pay attention to them, it is immediate on site. Like, hey, I'm rubbing against your leg. Why are you trying to move away from me? Pay attention to me. So sometimes I intentionally play with cats up front because then they're just like, ew, gross. You're into me.
You're too needy. I don't like you.
Why are you paying attention? This is disgusting. Go away. And then they just scutter off and I'm like, okay. But then I have to like go wash my hands immediately because I'm like, okay, I touch the cat.
Like hot sauce, don't touch your eyes.
Yeah, exactly. It's wild though that you have to play reverse psychology with cats though. Like like I didn't think reverse psychology worked with animals, but here we are. The second you interact with a cat, it is no longer interested in being your friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Dave just joined us and is hearing the tail end of me describing how I deal with cats through my allergies.
I have actually witnessed Brian having bad flare-ups by just walking into my house.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't say bad. It's not like you were having to be rushed to the hospicle, but you were like, no, I need the cat to make sure that he's in another room when we've had to.
And I feel bad because I know that this cat it's not their fault. They're not doing anything. I don't know if there's some weird human design that we're meant to be allergic, or some of us are meant to be allergic because some part of the world cats weren't there, and who knows why humans are designed the way they are. But here we are. It is what it is, and it's just unfortunate for me because I actually like cats. But man, if I could ever get a hamster.
But are you also allergic to hamster or no?
No. I want a hamster, but my partner keeps telling me no rodents in the house.
Well, I mean, that's a pretty fair statement. Like, I'm just like, it is, but it isn't. But like, I think if she wanted a cat and then you can't for fair reasons, I feel that she gets the right to ex-nay.
That is not the same thing, though. I would die if a cat was in the house. The hamster is in a cage in a room and wouldn't kill
But maybe
anybody.
she's dying to have a cat, but forsaking that concept for you being with your lovely self.
You can tell someone is married and their wife is very much structuring their little lives over there.
What's that supposed to mean?
Oh, because you're coming up with a diplomatic answer to a situation in which I would die, but it's okay that my partner would emotionally be dying from not having a cat.
You could call it structuring. I'll call it path of least resistance dialogue.
Hey man, as long as you
if it doesn't kill you fully, are you truly dead?
Oh God. Oh. I have a buddy who was allergic to cats. Was living with his partner, kept getting worse, but didn't realize it was allergies at first. Went to see a doctor, and the doctor was just like, hey, just a heads up, you are allergic to cats. That's what's going on. You're going to get worse. And then was just like, okay, I'm allergic to cats. It'll get worse. Is there anything I can do? And then was just like, not really. Just
Don't
so
have
you
cats.
know, yeah, you can't have cats. That's just it. And then he stayed around the cat and eventually kept taking medication for it. And then they're just like, okay, so you're not really allergic, but you have developed low-grade asthma. You now have low-grade asthma.
But I think
you're not allergic to the cat. You've managed to get yourself over the hump, but you now have low-grade asthma.
But I think it also combines whether or not, like, I think it gets worse if you're also allergic to like if you're allergic to dust. Yeah, I was about to say, if you're allergic to dust and all that, their dander becomes worse. And for sure, if long-haired cats, that's just murder for those who have allergies. However, if there's been multiple accounts where if you stay around the cat long enough, it's like your body gets used to it. Like my mom is actually allergic to cats.
Yeah.
But she had she had a roommate at one point, and she was talking to me how she had 3 cats. I'm like, I don't understand. She's like, oh, it sucked for like 3 months. And then I was fine. Well,
no, y'all are weird.
It depends. It always depends on the person. It's always not consistent with everybody.
Yeah. I was gonna ask, you'll die like
we are not a medical podcast. Please take it.
Exactly. Disclaimer.
Please consult a doctor, and if you don't believe him, then get a second opinion if you can.
Yeah. Huge disclaimer. Jaws is right. This is not a medical podcast. We're not like all those other podcasts who say and then just pretend like you don't have to put a disclaimer. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and these 3 women were telling girls, "Oh, if the pullout game is strong, you won't get pregnant." And I was like, "That is the dumbest thing to tell young women." Like,
that is literal proof that doesn't work. Literal proof.
I mean, if pullout game actually worked, then I'm sure none of us would be here.
No, I mean, and my second, but yeah.
I just mean in general, like a good chunk of the human population wouldn't be here.
But just a reminder: pull out, not a method. Use a condom. Wear protection.
No, pull out works if your sperm count's whack.
Okay, well, I mean, then you don't need to pull out if your sperm count's whack.
Nah, you still gotta pull out.
Yeah, you still have to pull out because it's really if that mobility got going.
Yeah, you got those.
I think my favorite. I think my favorite was Scrubs, where the main character JD got a daughter. His pullout game was extremely good, but his boys, his soldiers were so strong.
Oh,
they ended up impregnating the girl anyway.
Oh God!
He did not finish on the girl, but they just marched right in.
but fun
going
fact,
in, Captain. Dun, 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 dun.
Apparently, and I'm not joking. Like I spoke to I'm not going to say whom I spoke into the medical field, but there is someone who told me in the medical field that apparently, since we're talking all of this,
reminder: please go see doctors.
Yeah, exactly.
For yourself.
But apparently, black men, apparently your sperm is actually way more fertile compared to the average other male whatever. No joke. Like literally no joke.
I
They
mean,
either-
I don't know. I
would kind of corroborate that because I remember there's like always a joke about a black dude saying like, "Hey man, where are you going? I thought we were still playing ball. Well, I gotta go change my uncle's Pampers." So that
Oh,
means
no.
their grandparents
Yeah.
were still banging.
I definitely
he's old enough.
I definitely do know. I have been told that black women tend to be able to have children, or apparently seem to have children later than most.
Really?
So like black women have like sometimes are having kids in like mid 40s and stuff, and people are just like, yeah, that makes sense. And I was just like, oh, I didn't know that was a thing. I mean, you know, those numbers, by the way, if anyone has ever watched Adam Ruins Everything, the numbers that they give, that they're just like, women have what's the term that they use? Geriatric pregnancies in their 30s. All those numbers come from a study that was done in like the 1600s or something like that. Like it's some old study that's like and puts the blame solely on women and doesn't take into account the fact that men, as we get older, our sperm is less potent. As we know, as we get older, our genes replicate slower and not as well, because it's like an old computer floppy disk. A copy of a copy is never as good as the original. So the sperm starts to be weaker in that sense. But none of these studies seem to check that out. They're only blaming these poor women and being like, y'all can't have these babies, you're old. And it's just like, look at this old man giving this young girl. Yeah, because you have this like 65-year-old man sleeping with like, or not even 65 because they didn't even live that long, but you have like these 40-something-year-old men sleeping with like teenage girls, and then the kids come out average. Yeah, because her young egg is so young that it's gonna balance out this old sperm over there.
And it's to corroborate your story about the getting pregnant later. Didn't Janet Jackson have like a child at like 50 or something?
Okay, when it comes to the Jackson family, we can't. That is a medical miracle family that we really can't. We can't. That's not even a fair. Like where do we even start? Where do we even start? Okay,
I'd rather not.
Yeah, exactly.
What I missed?
No, us ragging on the Jackson family for having medical miracles in their bloodline. Janet supposedly had a kid in her 50s, and it was just like, well, sure, why not?
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that.
But hey, if she did, and the kid's healthy and happy, and she's healthy and happy, and the family's healthy and happy, good to them. Congrats to everybody.
Well, I know they broke up.
Yeah, well, and everyone was saying that she
walked away with a bag.
Right.
Wait, how did she walk away with the bag?
So he's a Saudi. He's like a Saudi prince or some like that, like rich Saudi oil.
He owns one of the airlines, Etihad or Arab Emirates or something. He owns one of the airlines or something.
Right. And she got with this dude, and in their prenup, if she was with him to a certain point, she got to walk away with a certain amount of money. And if she was with him with a kid, she got even more.
Oh, okay. I thought she had to be with him for X amount of time and kid. I thought it was both. I thought both had to be.
Oh, maybe okay. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the first part. Maybe it's
she had to sire him a son.
Right.
And
Yeah,
she
did.
There,
yeah.
I mean, secure the Jackson name for real.
Yeah.
Why not? Michael can't do it no more. So right?
And I mean, there was still the other 5 brothers.
Nah, Jermaine ain't doing nothing. Stop it. Don't do that. What, Tito?
Oh, what are you talking about? Jermaine produced a bunch of stuff.
How could you do what you do when you did what you did to me? Yes, we all know the garbage.
No. Don't take it personal, man.
Kids.
That's the best song ever. Don't take it personal. I'm breaking up with you, but hey, you gonna be all right? Little punch on the chin.
What was that creepy song?
Through this.
What was that creepy weird song that the 3 of them tried to release a track that was kind of after Thriller, but right before, but it was still like it had horror elements to it, but it was weird. Hold on. It's called
not Heartbreak Hotel. That's not that.
Nah, it's a song by the Jacksons, but the Jacksons features like 3 of them, and they all look like Michael because they got Jerry Curl. So you're kind of like, wait, who's this? And yeah, hold on, I'll find the song. Y'all continue. I won't play it, but you know what I mean.
While you look up the song, I think the only trailer we had this week that we wrote down was Ted. The new trailer
that came
Ted
out like Peacock. 6 hours ago. It wasn't even
Seth
Ted the
MacFarlane.
Bear. Or...
Yeah.
So he's back.
It's a prequel. It's like when he gets him as a kid, basically. It's his high school.
Wahlberg?
No, because that's how they go around it. It's when Wahlberg's a teenager. It's set in the 90s.
I'm down.
I actually saw it. It doesn't look bad. It looks like it's cheap laughs. It's low hanging fruit.
There you go.
I'm not saying it's not.
That's fair. If you're gonna say that, I'll because when you said it doesn't look bad, I was just like, to me, it looks cheap. But yes, low hanging fruit is what I would say. That is fair.
We're NBC, and we're going to be getting a show by scribble. The guy that did
American
Dad. Yes, gimme. He did Orville. He did American Dad. He did Cleveland Show. He did Family Guy.
A Thousand Ways to Die in the West or whatever.
Yeah, that was
still making those
that's
shows.
the only bad thing.
Yeah,
because all the other ones were good.
You didn't like A Thousand Ways to Die?
Nah.
Oh,
it had moments. It had moments, but overall,
it had Charlize Theron. That's what I think. That's my only reason for paying attention.
We all know why, Brian. We all know the low hanging fruit Brian was going for there.
I think the thing I don't like about it is just like this. I keep forgetting his name. Seth
MacFarlane.
Seth MacFarlane. He's too much of a modern person to be in a Western.
Yeah,
he's like, I know all the tropes, and all the tropes are stupid, and blah. And it's like,
that's why I thought it was funny, because
it would make more sense if he came from the future and did that.
Like Deadpool.
I think the whole joke of that film is that he's like an Eastern, like isn't he like a Boston boy who's in the West? And he's just like, you guys live like this? Like, why do you live in a world where anything could happen?
It's like he's woke to the realities of what they're dealing with, and is just observing like, that's a bad idea, so I'm not going to do it. And then people brutally get killed. I mean, like when a guy died from an ice cube, like, get out of here.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, if his accent wasn't just modern Boston dude.
Oh, well, yeah, that's
like if it fit the time period or something. Because I mean, the fact that he was like, oh, well, I ended up becoming friends with Liam Neeson, and Liam Neeson wants to try to do a country accent. Fuck it, I'll do it. I don't care. I own this movie. I'm the one producing it. I'll do what I want. And I think the only reason he got on that movie was because he busted his balls in Family Guy. There was a cutaway joke, and they're making fun of him doing a Western accent. Yeah. And then they ended up like talking with each other. And he's like, hey, and he's like, well, you know what? Actually, I'll do a movie and you could just do that. And, like, that'd be fine. And he's like, oh, okay. I could try to be this badass character and stuff. So, so it ended up working out.
It's wild to think, though, like, he doesn't have, and even at that, I know a lot of people enjoy that movie. He doesn't have any, like, is there any blemishes on his track record of producing films or shows or movies, really? You could say Orville had a bad start, but everyone says it's just as good, if not should be considered Star Trek level sometimes.
I will say about Orville that it is the truest descendant of Star Trek The Next Generation. Like, if you liked Star Trek The Next Generation, the Orville, I would say, is the closest to watching a continuation of that type of essentially procedural space drama, whereas Deep Space Nine is a political side, like serialized Star Trek, and Voyager is a Lost in Space procedural.
I think isn't Deep Space Nine starts off one way and then afterwards becomes Babylon 5, basically, because Babylon 5 is like around the same time. Well, that's what I kind of heard. Like, it starts off as,
a lot of people say that, and I never watched Babylon 5, so I can't compare the two. I have heard a lot of people say that Deep Space Nine is essentially Babylon 5 in Star Trek's universe.
But I mean, like, from my understanding, it's like maybe the first 2 seasons of Deep Space Nine is like specifically about the ship, the station.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, it becomes like more about political intrigue and a war coming and this, that, and the other.
Right.
Like, it just kind of
it
kind of chases Babylon 5.
If that's how Babylon 5 played out, then yes, very much. Yeah. Because it is very much, the show starts, it's about a father raising his son post Wolf 359, which is the major Borg attack in the Star Trek universe. What's up, Skinny?
I have a Seth MacFarlane fail.
Oh, okay.
The winner.
I don't even know what the winner is.
Exactly. All right. So the winner.
Wait, is that before Family Guy, out of curiosity?
No. Shit
Dave,
dropped.
no one gave him a bag before Family Guy. Okay?
That's what I was saying. That's what I'm saying. If it was a fail before Family Guy, I don't know if we can necessarily.
It starred the dude Rob Corddry, who was in that show with The Rock about
Ballers.
But he was in Ballers with The Rock, the balding white dude. It starred him. It lasted 6 episodes on Fox, March 4th to March 18th, 2007.
Oh, this was a show?
Hell yeah, boy.
And it was funny. A movie.
And it was funny. And they dropped it faster than Andy Richter Controls the Universe.
Okay, but wait. But if you're saying it's funny, it was like plenty of studios cancel good. Like, I mean, like
no. You said
it was on Fox. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, like, you know.
I mean,
I'm saying if it was
you said hiccups and you said blemishes. That's a blemish.
Yeah, but I mean, blemish, like, it was studios.
Blemish considered bad enough to be canceled after 6 episodes.
Then Netflix is an entire blemish. It's nothing but a blemish.
Yes. Yeah. Netflix is a blemish. I said this in the group chat the other day. Netflix's entire business model is working in the red for 20-something years. And then when you finally make it into the black, the pandemic hits and you're just like, well, I guess we survived.
That's like gambling, owing the mob money, acting like you're up.
Constantly.
It's like super fucked up.
Oh, so isn't that
and dangerous. But
what was that movie with oh my goodness, Adam Sandler?
Yep. There's a few.
No, the one where he
Uncut Glove.
He was a jeweler. The one where he's a jeweler and he owed people money.
Oh, Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems.
Isn't it like Uncut Gems where he's like, yo, I made the money back off of this crazy bet, and nope, they don't care. Spoiler. Sorry.
I mean, I haven't seen Uncut Gems.
Years. It's good. It's
it's not spoilers. I don't. If I haven't seen it by now, I don't think I care. Like, because
you should. He's got some
I'm not saying it's bad, and I'm not saying I don't want to see it. It's more just that I realized every time. So you know how you have a list of movies, and every time you're like, oh, I could watch a movie. I got 2 hours to kill, nothing to do. I could watch a movie, and then you end up doing something completely, or you end up watching something you love already. You're like,
oh no, I watched The Office for the 20th time.
Or in my case, I rewatched. Literally the other night, I was supposed to watch this movie that a buddy of mine, Val Kilmer's Top Secret, this old movie from the 80s.
Oh wow!
That's Val Kilmer's movie that's kind of like Airplane, where everything's like
it's a comedy. Yeah.
It's like it's like
he's like a genius or something. Like it's him in the teenager years or something.
Early Simpsons type jokes where it's like, something's just oversized and something's ridiculous, and sometimes you're just looking straight into the camera, stuff like that. And this dude's been telling me to watch this movie forever. He keeps telling me, yo, you gotta watch Top Secret. I'm telling you, if you love Val Kilmer, and I do, that Val Kilmer documentary that came out, I was so happy for that doc. It was so good. It was such a well-told story. And I was just like, man, I really loved Val Kilmer as an actor when I was younger, and I didn't realize how much I did. Mind you, my name, Doc Holly, literally comes from his character in Tombstone, so I should have known.
So you ain't no fan.
Yeah. So I'm about to put Top Secret into my PS5 to watch it, and then I turn on my TV, and I'm like,
oh, Goodfellas.
No, that's it. I see
Men in Black 1.
I have Plex, and I'm like, Plex is connected to this computer here, so I can watch all my movies on my big TV. And I'm just like, oh wait, what did I download last? And I go and I look, and I'm like, I guess I'm watching Groundhog's Day for the 30th.
Wow, why? You already know how it ends.
Fucking Groundhog's Day.
Literally a loop.
It goes on forever.
Yeah, exactly. The movie's a
loop. Not to say that it's bad or anything, but
you can literally skip like 45 minutes of that movie and you still know exactly what happened.
No, what I would do is I would skip to the part he goes, Ned. And I'm like, exactly. Good. I got what I wanted out of this movie.
Like after the first loop, when he wakes up that morning, you could literally skip to the last loop and be like, yeah, I think I got the gist of the movie. Like,
wait, no, there's that one. There's one where he takes the alarm clock, he puts it up with his arm.
Yeah. There's the one where he drives the groundhog and him off a cliff. Like all of it. It's just like, yo, I don't.
Wait, hold on. He drives the groundhog off a cliff with him.
Yeah,
Have you ever seen Groundhog Day?
And he.
It's worth a watch.
It's good.
Like, it's worth a watch.
Me 5 years ago found out it was a movie about a loop. Like I was just like, oh, a Bill Murray movie that I haven't.
Can't believe you watched Scrooged, but you haven't watched Groundhog Day.
Of course, I've watched Scrooge and not Groundhog Day. What do you mean?
Scrooge is great.
For Scrooge for a generation. Scrooge is the Christmas Carol movie.
Yeah. It was on
for a generation.
It was.
You put on that old shit, and people are like, "What is this?" No, don't show me.
No. You
put on Muppets Christmas Carol, maybe, but Scrooge is the one.
The way it worked was Scrooge you'd play before Christmas,
yes,
and then the Christmas Carol with Scrooge, that would play on Christmas Day. The old school one would play on the
not
Christmas
paying
Day.
attention. That and Miracle on what's it called? I hate that movie too.
34th
All the
Street.
gray ones, all
34th Street.
the black and white joints, can't stand them.
Not even It's a Wonderful Life.
Nah, especially not in It's a Wonderful Life.
I have
No.
not watched that movie in years.
I hate that movie. Oh my god, that movie's the worst.
Damn.
Fuck out of here with that black
It's
and white
so
stuff.
funny
No.
because like all these movies we're talking about, like every other show that we've watched and comment on, always
know.
pull from them.
Mimics from it.
constantly.
Facts.
Yeah,
I was gonna
Can't
say,
stand them though.
like,
It's a Wonderful Life. It's basically a Christmas Carol because he's like,
Yes.
I'm going to kill myself. Hey,
Yes.
no, let's see what happens if you do, and let's look at
Exactly.
that alternate world of what's going to happen. Hell, most of the not Marvel, but like all the alternate universe stuff that we have is basically that.
Basically, 100%.
Yeah.
It's
It's
just
a
that
Wonderful
multiple
Life.
times.
It's a Wonderful Life is so prolific. They're making horror versions of It's a Wonderful Life. They have a
Good.
horror movie coming out this year that's set at Christmas where homegirl wishes she never existed and she killed the serial killer in the past. And then because she wishes she never existed, the serial killer ends up still existing when she like wakes up. And now she knows who the serial killer is, but no one else does. So she spends the whole movie trying to stop the serial killer, but no one believes her who the serial killer is.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
What's the movie
I
called?
can't remember the name of the movie.
It's
I know what you're
Justin
talking about.
Long, and I don't know who. I have to look it up.
Is it called What the Ass Is This? 'Cause that's what I was like, it's like-
No.
Oh my gosh.
Hold
What? What?
It takes place in the 80s, right?
Oh my
No,
God.
that's totally Killers.
Oh, okay.
This one's called It's a Wonderful Knife. Oh,
Hard strips.
Merry
Oh my
Christmas.
god.
No, man. Don't forget. Remember, we already have Eli Roth's Thanksgiving movie that
Hey,
came out.
I just
Oh,
watched
that
Let Me
just
Explain
came out.
on that movie today, and hey, this Eli man, like he's on
that
some,
just came out too.
he's on
That
some
just
ish.
came out, and that
Yeah.
was an idea from like
From it was an old trailer in the
Grindhouse, from the
Yeah,
Grindhouse
which
movies.
apparently all of them have been made except for that one movie. Don't all the Grindhouse trailers have been made except for
Oh,
the
yeah?
one movie that's called
That's
Don't.
true,
All
yeah.
of them.
Was this
Hobo
one
with a
produced by?
Shotgun got made.
Hobo
Was
with the
this-
shotgun. Yeah.
But was this one produced by Robert Rodriguez also?
No, I don't think so.
I think Eli
Oh,
Roth
No,
just
it's just
took.
Eli Roth. It's him.
He just
taking
took the like original trailer and said, "Yeah, I'm just gonna make this as a version, considering is pretending as if that original version was like
Right.
banned." And because apparently
Oh, okay.
the Thanksgiving trailer is like 10 times worse than this Thanksgiving movie.
Jesus.
Like
Yeah,
more
'cause at the
gruesome.
The
Yeah,
end of
it-
that trailer, there's like the killer is just having sex with the turkey, and it
Oh.
like really quickly it shows really quickly, and it cuts. Like it's on purpose.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
Really on purpose.
Yeah, this-
Hollywood,
this-
no. Hollywood, no.
It's like, how do I
Hollywood, no.
No child.
push this over to? Yeah, there we go. And I'll just be silly because it's just a trailer. Like, you're not thinking about it actually becoming a thing. Oh, that's true. Machete.
Yeah.
Should it
ended
happen?
up
1 and 2.
That was
Yeah.
that was a trailer.
Hobo with a
Hobo with a shotgun.
This
Don't.
hasn't been done, but it will be hopefully probably.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think that
What's
was
the
just
premise
very,
of
very
Don't?
jokey.
Don't was basically just like Get Out. No, not Get Out. It was just Us. I think.
Oh, okay. Like
Don't
alternate reality. Okay.
Yeah.
go into that room. Don't.
Oh,
You're gonna go
okay,
see this
okay.
movie. Don't.
That's
It's
fair.
just
That's fair.
it's just a silly trailer.
Lord have mercy. But
Not
yeah,
a mercy.
so all that to say, that's the only trailer we had, Ted, and then all the other things. But I guess go see Thanksgiving if you haven't, if you're into that type of stuff. And It's a Wonderful Knife is coming out.
Say that. Don't
It's-
see that.
Wait, when does it come out? It's a Wonderful Knife.
There's also another
Or-
Christmas horror movie.
Or watch Muppet
Silent
Christmas
Night.
Carol. That's also a classic. That's
Do you
all-
realize? Yeah, yeah.
Silent
that was a
Night.
good one.
But Silent Night isn't horror though. Isn't Silent Night just?
Isn't it?
It's just
No.
It's
There's
what's
a lot
his
of
name?
Christmas horror.
It's horror-
I saw a makeshift one. I'm pretty sure there's a Silent Night that's a horror film. That's Christmas.
Oh,
100%.
okay.
100%.
But the Silent Night trailer that's out now with Joel Kitterman, is that his name?
Mm.
Where the dude who played RoboCop 2014 and then has been in like he was in the
Suicide Squad?
Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the Silent Night, Deadly Night series.
Okay. No. Yeah. Okay. Good.
Garbage Day.
Sorry.
I think that's part of it.
Yeah. When does this movie drop?
Easter.
No, but it's a Wonderful Knife. I'm watching the trailer. Oh, I guess it's not coming out for a minute because it says it's not even rated, and the trailer
Good.
came out in October.
Good. When they get away with a Five Nights at Freddy's movie, you need to just chill, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Did you guys hear what they did because of Five Nights at Freddy?
What, they shut it down? All of
They
them?
pulled all the animatronics from all the Chuck E. Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese?
Yeah,
Oh
in real life.
wow. Why?
Good.
People were
Because
going
the
crazy.
movie creeped people out so much that Chuck E. Cheese and them couldn't be. People were getting freaked out.
You're the birthday. You're the
birthday.
You're the birthday boy
Or
or girl.
Yep. I remember that. Simpsons were hard, man.
Just
Simpsons.
burning the flames and to put it out.
There's a few. Sunny in Philadelphia does the same thing where they go back to their Chuck E. Cheese and they're all like in the back, just like destroyed, decapitated. They were trying to.
The Goofy Movie one was good too. Lester's Possum Park.
Yes.
Oh Lord,
I remember that. Shoot, animatronics are creepy. Get rid of them.
I don't think I've ever been to a place that has animatronics.
The only good thing I got at animatronics is when in like the early like 2007, 2008, when people used to have like those like the ones from Chuck E. Cheese do mixes to like pop lock and drop it. That was the only good those things ever did, and that was it. It was also kind of creepy, but it was like, all right.
I do not doubt for a second.
I'm sure Disney still has a bunch of animatronics that they still kind of they make better and stuff like that.
I've never been to Disney. Disney World or
either
Disneyland. I don't remember.
I just took his family and almost like, listen.
I think World is the better one. That's in Florida though.
Yeah, it's pretty. I was there once when I was 5. It was pretty cool. I do know that some of the rides are actually still there from then till now. Like I know they had a haunted house.
There's a haunted ride.
Their haunted mansion though is wild because you enter a room.
Nope.
It feels like it spins around.
Don't.
Then you end up going into a hold on. You end up going into like a called roller coaster, right? And the creepy part of the roller coaster is that it moves like the carts move left and right, right? So they turn you at one point in time, and you pass by a mirror.
Stop it!
And then in between, then like there's a ghost in the mirror, right? And at first you're like kind of creeped out, like oh okay, whatever. There's probably like even as a kid I'm like oh there's probably like a sensor or something cool, whatever. But then you pass by another one, and now the ghost is moved.
Nah, man.
Shit. It is actually really good.
I'm out. Listen, no.
So remember when you watch all the Disney haunted house movies, you're like, whatever, and then you actually go to the thing, you're like, oh,
yeah.
I'm not trying to see no demon face in the mirror.
Exactly.
Are you kidding me? What?
Demon, it's glowing ghosts.
No. I don't want to be going.
Pumpkins, any questions?
I'm a grown man there with my daughter. Look in the mirror and her face is all skull-like. Nah, I'm cool. I'm super cool.
I'm good on that.
Yeah, super good.
How about y'all put that money into better Marvel movies? Then we start talking.
No. This pool of money's for the rides.
Yeah. These rides.
Money's for the rides. You already got your comics and stuff over there.
What do we got,
folks? You gotta be earning. Ha in this table, you gotta be earning.
Oh Lord. Mickey.
Make my money.
I still can't believe how much they want to control that image, that they just keep pushing the copyright laws and trademark laws over and over. It's like y'all can't own this forever.
Isn't it supposed to be public domain by now? Shouldn't I be able to sample
that? The original version of Mickey's supposed to be in public
domain. This is how you know something's is happening when all of a sudden all the stores are selling Mickey Mouse stuff, Mickey Mouse memorabilia out of nowhere. Just all like
but like the original image one too, not just like the Steamboat Willie version is the one that all of a sudden. Remember that recently how they recut their Walt Disney 100 years intro thing, and it's Mickey on the boat, Steamboat Willie again, and you're just like, why are y'all using this again? Because they're trying to control the trademark.
Oh, so that makes sense. Okay, so that's why the recent Mickey cartoon on Disney Plus, that's basically the Twisted Tales of Felix the Cat.
Yes,
he's in that stylistic, and it's a dope show. Like it's super funny, but okay, I get it now. Oh wow.
It's nasty.
That's how they get you.
But they couldn't do anything about Winnie the Pooh. They couldn't do anything about Winnie the Pooh because they didn't own that. They own the version they created with the red.
Nobody want that diabetic bear.
Oh my god!
Garbage friends, man. You know, Pooh has the worst
garbage friends.
His friends are the worst.
Wait, how? Okay,
stop hating on Eeyore. He did nothing to you.
Winnie the Pooh
just wanted to be left alone. Everyone wants to celebrate his
supporting
birthday.
cast of characters in cartoon history.
Jesus. Okay. Do we want to get into this? Who
How's Piglet a bad person?
To go?
Okay, Piglet's a pussy, and you can't bring him to no kind of fight. Piglet will leave you there dead. Tigger, come on.
I won't even already know that. Why are you bringing Piglet?
I was gonna say. Tigger has ADHD. Give the man a chance.
Okay, Rabbit. You can't rely on Rabbit for nothing. He's an asshole. Eeyore. We all know, but we all have an Eeyore friend, and there's most people who watch Eeyore, and that's why they're Eeyore right now. Right? Eeyore is a problem. It's like a generational problem.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's why
Eeyore was there to explain to you why mommy was drinking wine in the middle of the day. Eeyore was just to be like, listen, kids, not everyone has a happy smile on their face.
You got Christopher Robin, who's your like sometimes friend who every now and then forgets about you, comes back and is like, oh yeah, now I realize why I stopped hanging around these niggas. It never comes back.
Oh my god.
We're supporting cast, I'm telling you.
What about Rue? Rue was simple.
Kangaroo? You mean the single mom who's not trying to be around them? Come on.
Not the mom, but the kid.
Didn't
she have a kid?
Rue was the kid. Kanga is mom's.
Yeah, right. So what about the kid?
What's wrong with either one of them?
I'm gonna say
that's a problem itself. Where's
like Owl?
I don't know. Kanga's always got to drop off Rue. I'm reaching right now, but I mean Kangaroo. There's nothing wrong with
man. No, I think you have a problem with people like people aren't perfect, man. He accepts Pooh shows to accept people for who they are. That's what you're not seeing the message about.
Pooh didn't know when to trim the fat.
Yeah, but who else are you gonna hang out with?
Eating honey first,
the
bro.
Bees?
Like,
it's called the 100-acre wood. They know other animals?
No, man. Who else are you gonna hang out with? The bees? The bees already like, yo, stop stealing our honey, dude. What are you doing?
100 acres wood. He couldn't find anyone else. That is
maybe the gopher was all right.
Oh yeah, the gopher.
He didn't want to be around them. No way, anyways.
That is fantastic.
Oh, man.
All right.
I wish they actually did. I remember Max Landis talked about his treatment for a Winnie the Pooh, like fast forward kind of thing.
Right.
And it would be like Robert Downey Jr. and he's like this, he's like older and he's like this business dude, but some stuff keeps happening in the background. He's like, what the? And he thinks he's going crazy. And like he ends up like running away from home and he gets to like this tree. And it turns out he's Christopher Robin the whole time. And it was trying to be like, yo. But they ended up doing the other one with not Michael Fassbender. Was it Ewan McGregor? Ewan McGregor?
Oh, the one with the author and like the
where he's older and it's kind of that, but like not how not crazy as Max Landis wanted to do it.
I would have loved that. He goes back and.
But speaking of Pooh, let's talk about Big Pooh from Little Brother.
What do you do?
Because Jaws D watched a documentary.
There's a Little Brother documentary. Where?
I know. I had to watch it too.
The documentary is called May the Lord Watch, which is the same name as their last Little Brother's last album, and it's called May the Lord Watch, the Little Brother's story, full documentary. It's out on YouTube actually. So it's about an hour and 40 minutes, and it's actually really cool. They talk about their whole history, how Big Pooh, Fontaine, and Ninth Wonder all kind of met up and started getting to know each other, and then just made what was it called, Just Us League first, and all the crew that they had there, and then they kind of branched off into Big Brother, Little Brother. So
do they talk about the kind of schism?
I know I ended up like they talk about the schism. They talk about Ninth Wonder
leaving after one album. Sheesh.
Yeah, like kind of being there but not being there.
Right.
There's even a part in it where they say we tried to reach out to Ninth Wonder for this documentary and he's ignored us. So
I ain't got no time for that. Ninth is with Jay-Z and them, please.
Yeah, so I mean, but the reason, and then you find out how Ninth Wonder got put on was because of Questlove. So because Questlove and the Roots did a show, I think it could have been North Carolina, or somewhere where
that is their backyard.
So somewhere where they were at. And so there was like a monsoon going outside. People were waiting out for the Roots for like 4 hours or camping out. I think it was like a big show going on. And the Roots were kind of considering if they should go out and perform or not. And because I was like, no, let's do it. People have been waiting out there for a while. Let's give them a show. So they did the whole show. Everyone's out there in the rain. And he goes out to the front to shake everybody's hand. And he gets to one hand. And
he's
CD for Little Brothers there is Fontaine giving Questlove his CD.
That's so good.
And he's like, yo, you gotta listen to us. And he's like, I'll see what you say about it on the forums. And then they talk about the OK Player forums.
Yeah. Oh, because this is blog era. Sick.
Yeah, this
I love blog era stuff.
Before blog era. This is before Black Twitter and all that kind of stuff. So Questlove is like, chilling at home and after the show, and he's like, I'm I got some time to listen to some stuff. And he's like, oh yeah, this CD. And he's like, if I listen to this and I like it, and I mention it on the boards, then the amount of backlash I'm going to get from people that everybody that gave me stuff and I didn't listen to them at all.
Exactly. I was just going to say.
But he put it in their CD and he really liked it. And then, and so he's like, oh, he finds them on the boards or something like that. And so I think a few years later, they're making their first album. And I think Jay is going to listen to some stuff from Ninth Wonder.
Yeah.
Or he's going to meet him and stuff. And then because Questlove is like, in on the know, he already has their album there in his hand and everything. He's like, yeah. Like, he's really good. Like, pay attention to him. And ever since then and also the other two members are just like, yeah, every group that has a producer, they're always gonna skyrocket. And so we weren't like, no, you can't work with Jay-Z. We're like, no, go. It's Jay-Z. Holy crap. Go.
They forgot to say come back though.
Yeah, they talk about the schism and how it felt like Ninth Wonder was kind of like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and not really thinking. But I think they all kind of made their peace somewhat. But Ninth Wonder doesn't really.
Doesn't Fontes talk about his subgroup? Yeah,
I'm sure he talks about the foreign exchange. Yeah, foreign exchange comes up. Nicolay comes up.
Fucking right.
So it kind of continues on until their last album, and then them kind of dealing with their own personal stuff during COVID, and it gets very heavy. Like at that point, it gets pretty heavy.
Something happened to Big Pooh, I'm sure.
No, it was something does happen to Big Pooh, more so like I think he had like a blood clot in his leg. Ooh. And it almost got to his brain, so he almost died basically. They talked about that. And they talked about they kind of reached out to each other when Phife Dawg passed away.
Oh, yeah.
So like you get that kind of.
I feel like a lot of people in hip hop reached out to a lot of other people.
Yeah, all the groups were like, "Hey, yo, we should talk, huh?"
Yeah. So after that happened, that's when they started like more so. Big Pooh and Fontaine started to like fix their friendship first, because they were friends before, and then they started working together. But they're like, we gotta fix our friendship first before we even think about making an album together.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was really cool, and just a lot of grown man talk, which I always like about that. Whenever you pay attention to hip hop stuff, as you see these rappers and producers get older, they start realizing, okay, I shouldn't blow my own smoke, or get high off my own supply and be so big-headed. I gotta calm the hell down. And I was rocking with this guy before we even made anything together. Like, why not try to rekindle that friendship? And there was no issues of toxicness or I don't like it when you do this and da. So it was cool. It was definitely worth a watch. And it's free on YouTube. Nothing's ever free in life. So it's free on YouTube. Go and watch it.
Tons of ads, but it's worth it.
It's definitely worth it. And it only came out 4 days ago.
Okay.
So I was on Facebook, and I'm on I follow a group called Ambrosia for Heads and stuff like that. It was a hip hop kind of thing. And it came up. I was like, oh, okay, let me look into this. I'm like, oh, it's on YouTube. I thought I had to like pirate it or something, but no, straight up on YouTube.
I know what I'm watching. Yeah.
Do you guys remember Fonte's podcast from a couple years ago?
Short-lived.
Yeah, he had a podcast, but I know that he's now on Questlove's podcast because of his podcast.
He had a podcast that was named after the designer that Theo on the Cosby Show gets a shirt by, and I can't remember that guy's name. I'm trying to look it up because I remember specifically that it's named after the designer that Theo's shirt was from. I don't know if you remember that episode of Cosby where he has that shirt that's like he can't get one, so I think someone of the sisters offers to sew him one, and like the arm is super long, the shirt is half there. Cosby.
No, I don't remember that one.
It's a good episode. Cosby.
Like, I feel like my memories of Cosby Show is if Raven Simone's on it, that's what I remember, and that's like tail end Cosby Show.
As soon as I typed in Theo's shirt Cosby, it was like it came up. Oh yeah, Denise sewed it for him. Damn, what was the name?
Designer?
Gordon Gartrell. That's it. Yes, Gordon Gartrell, Fonte. Like, and I don't even remember why Fonte had this as a. Gartrell Radio was the name of the podcast.
It's because I guess he's in that age group where like they were really into the Cosby Show, and
yeah, for sure.
Theo was like, every black kid felt they were Theo. They weren't super smart like their dad, but they were trying their best, and the dads always just are hard on them for no reason. I remember like listening to Questlove's podcast, and Malcolm Jamal Warner was on it, the guy that plays Theo, and like him and Fonte are just nerding out and just asking all the questions as much as they can.
Man, so this show was 2000. They did this in 2008. That's hilarious. Yeah, 2008, and then the last archive is from 2014. Yeah, but there's no episode
because I think he jumped over to Questlove's podcast, and even on that podcast, sometimes Fontaine is more knowledgeable than Questlove.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
But I guess it just depends, because I mean, like maybe there might be a 10-year gap difference.
Is Fonte older?
No, like younger. I think he might be 10 years younger then. So I think Fonte's in his 40s, and then Questlove I think is 50, maybe closer to 60. But I think it's more so 50.
Yo, by the way, if you guys want to go listen to the Gordon Gartrell Radio episodes, it looks like they're still up.
Oh,
which is wild. I didn't think the episodes would still be up on the site, but Gordon Gartrell Radio, Fonte and Brainchild, and it's still up because I just clicked on the episode and it still worked. So if you guys are looking for something to check out during these slim picking times when it comes to TV. Oh yeah, man, I should have just
watch Top Secret.
Yeah, true. See, there I go again. I'm supposed to watch Top Secret. I'm just like, I'm gonna go
Full
back
circle.
and listen to a podcast from 2008.
You're the worst.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's bad. ADHD is a hell of a drug. So I have been on my end watching some Disney Plus. Speaking of the House of Mouse, I've been watching Culprits. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to watch that show, but Culprits is a bunch of British people doing some British shit, and it looks dope. If you guys are fans of what was Homeboy's show called? Misfits, that BBC show from a couple years ago, a little more than a couple of years ago at this point. But Misfits had our boy Nathan Stewart Jarrett in it. He was the tall black athlete who at one point his power was he could shapeshift into a woman. Then he got a different power at some other point. He is playing the lead in this series where a group is brought together a la Ocean's 11 to do some sort of wild, hit, like not hit, but try and rob this insane vault. And someone is killing all the people that were in the crew.
Inside job.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, I'm only at episode 2, so I'll see. I'll find out. But so far, I'm finding it very interesting. Gemma Atherton is in it. She's a former Bond girl. She was the star of St. Trinian films in the UK. She's been in a bunch of stuff. She's this really popular British actress. So shout outs to her. Kevin Vidal is in it, and I actually recognize him more from Kim's Convenience, where he plays Roger. Which I was really cool. Like I saw him and I was just like, yo, I know this dude, Canadian actor. So if you guys are looking to support Canadian actors too, Kevin Vidal is in it, and it's pretty cool to see him. And the cast is just wild. Kirby, the actress who plays, I don't know if you guys remember in The Good Place, the Australian black girl that is working with them at one point to figure out. In the later season, remember they're trying to figure out what counts as like good, like a good person.
Mm-hmm.
She plays Simone Garnett.
Okay.
But anyways, she's in it too. So, and she's also been in Killing Eve, in Barry, and in the show Love. She's been on a bunch of stuff recently. Great actress. I really, really like her. She's really funny. So, you know, this cast is really solid. The first 2 episodes have been really good. Homeboy is doing some crazy to try to survive. You know, the best part of it is, if you know Nathan as a British actor, when you start the episode and he's full on just talking with an American accent, you're just like, oh, he's playing an American. And then you realize like, oh, he's playing a Brit who's been relocated and is living under an assumed identity and is playing an American and is doing the accent 24/7 to survive.
Too inside.
Dude, that adds a whole other level to imagine someone doing an accent 24/7 can never talk in a real voice.
I remember I forgot that actress. She was in the second Star Trek movie with Christopher Pine, and I think she's like Pike's daughter or something.
Oh, Alice Eve.
Yeah, so she's actually British.
Yeah, I didn't know that until recently, which is wild.
Yeah. So she grew up in LA, and so in order to kind of fit in, she just figured out how to do the LA accent, and she just. So if you look up her doing an interview with Conan O'Brien, she just slips right in, slips right back out, and you're just like, what?
And she did that her whole life.
Yeah. So like when she was growing up, she just felt it was easier to just talk with an American accent so that she didn't feel like she was out of the crowd.
What?
Like, oh, you're from somewhere else over there, and you're like, nope. And it's like, oh yeah, you're one of us.
I mean, I get it. It's just so unfortunate to have a beautiful British accent and to hide that to fit in with American LA.
I was about to say, like, I feel like it's a disservice to yourself. Like, no. Like, if I went to Britain, if I got offered to work in the UK, I would start pretending to get a British accent because I'm like, no.
You would pull a Madonna?
I wouldn't do it.
You would pull a Madonna?
Yeah, 100%.
Josh, you wouldn't pull a Madonna?
No, that's stupid. That's dumb.
I love that Madonna.
Madonna shouldn't pull a Madonna because
I know.
Everybody already knows she's American, so it just
100%.
seems very weird. And then on top of that, I think she does more of a New York accent, but she's from Michigan.
Oh, dude. Madonna.
She's just a chameleon. She's been chameleon this whole time.
Facts.
Very.
Oh, well, I was living in New York in the 80s, and I was hanging out with Bosca. And why would that change your act? You're from Michigan. And then you end up in the UK married to a Brit, and somehow your accent went from Michigan to New York to this bastardized kind of like transatlantic British Americanized accent. And it's just like
the New Yorker British accent. That's what she has.
Yeah, it's like you're doing the most. You are doing the most.
Yeah, she's always adapted that one.
Right. Yes.
Always like a version for the first time.
So I'm gonna put a terrible monkey's paw out there. Horrible monkey's paw. So if Sony does another Spider-Man spin-off movie, Madonna for Chameleon.
Rude.
Or the chameleon at least doing her one time.
Let me pitch it to you. So you see, the X-Men series did it really well because they had Mystique, right? And then they had someone like Jennifer Lawrence pushing that. So now all we have to do is get an equally big name, and then boom, you got it.
Dave has bounced. Can you brought her up? Can we talk about her super quick? Mystique.
Sure.
I don't know if you guys have read X-Men Blue #1.
No, not yet.
I didn't have a chance to read it, but I did see news about it. Did you guys know that they changed Nightcrawler's parents?
No, why?
So who do you guys remember as Nightcrawler's parents?
It's supposed to be Mystique, and then there's another mutant that looks devilish.
Yeah,
right?
Azrael.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Right, Azrael.
Yeah,
Azrael. Yeah.
So they've changed it now.
No.
And Nightcrawler's mother is Destiny, that like immortal mutant who can like see the future. And his father is Mystique, because Mystique had changed herself into Azrael, and supposedly in X-Men lore now, canonically, Mystique has lived as a man multiple times throughout history because she can change herself on a genetic level, and she herself doesn't even know how powerful she is. It's some other character that when he was like reviewing her DNA was just like, her DNA changes on a molecular level. It's not just her appearance. And then he said she's not an Omega level mutant though, because she can't copy powers, even though she can match a person on a molecular level.
She could look like Wolverine, get out claws, but they're not going to be adamantium or anything like that.
And she's going to hurt herself.
But the other thing is his claws, the bone claws are his mutation.
Yeah.
So that's the
bone
thing.
Claws and healing factor, no.
Right, yeah.
But she would hurt her appearance, right? So she can make them come out.
But she's mimicking just blades. She's not actually, there's no bone claws there, and she doesn't have a healing factor.
I don't want to be mean or anything, but like this news, the only thing that flashed before my eyes when you were telling me this is, there's that meme there where it's like, boo this man.
To be fair,
to be fair,
this is very par for the course for X-Men. It's like, at first I was like, no, I don't want this. Why change it? And I'm like, that's what that X-Men be X-Men,
I'm just shocked they changed like Nightcrawler's origin to match this weird new story where Mystique has been lived as a man multiple times in the lore of of Marvel X-Men. It's like,
but like, what's the point of that?
Dude, I don't know.
Because it'd be different if like something happened. Well, I mean, again, we're reading it now. If you're only finding out, maybe there's gonna be a trickle down effect. But like, the only way that like the only logical sense to make that change is if you're ultimately going to change Nightcrawler and his abilities, which could be a thing. But at the same time, like for me,
you don't have to change his abilities.
No, but I'm saying like but I'm saying like other than that, what would be the point?
Right? Because now you're saying his DNA comes from immortal, immortal mutant, and other mutant that's underneath Omega level. So what ramifications it has to Nightcrawler?
Honestly, guys, I read the article and I was just like, yo, comic books be comic booking. Like,
who earns?
He's too sexy. That's it. That's all that happens to him. He's too sexy.
Comic books are soap operas, guys. That's just what it is.
I really feel like that is just, if anything, that is just more like you know how there's always those nerds who are like thinking on the sexualized side of things. This is just for like people to be able to be like, oh yeah, Mystique could also be like a guy, like it's almost like it's to expand the concept.
Rule 32 is it? Rule 32. 34 or whatever it is.
But it's like, oh, Mystique was only getting attraction from men. How can we make attraction from women? Well, we can make her a guy too, and a sexy guy. Like, like there's just,
she sends out pheromones that mess up guys and women.
Silly. Wait, does that mean did anything change? I guess nothing. I'm assuming nothing changed for Rogue.
I don't think so. No,
because technically, the Rogue. Like technically there's 3 children from Mystique, right? There's Rogue, there's Nightcrawler, and then there's I mean, I don't know if it's canon. I know it was in the X-Men cartoon series, at least I believe it was. But there was at one point in time, didn't Sabretooth and Mystique have
Grade and Creed?
Yeah, exactly. And then that's how you get
Sense of Humanity guy.
Yeah, exactly.
2 mutants make a dud. Oh well. Can't all be mutants.
That's the real bastard child in that one.
Wait, Grade and Creed? I didn't even realize that was
he was Sabretooth's son. I remember because they throw him back to Sabretooth.
Yeah,
he's like, no, that's why he hates mutants, because he hates his dad.
Yeah, he has a dad complex.
And he was like, welcome home, son. And you're like, what?
Guys.
Yes.
I just found out who Destiny is.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize who Destiny is. Destiny is Irene Adler?
Wait. I know that name. Who's that?
Explain.
Irene Adler is visually impaired from birth. Irene Adler was born to a wealthy family in Austria in the mid to late 19th century. Her precognitive powers activated when she was 13 to cope with nearly overwhelming visions. She transcribed what she saw into a series of diaries over the next 13 months. By the time she was finished, she was completely physically blind. A few years later, she hired Raven Darkholme, consulting detective, to help her make sense of her diaries. The two found that they shared a desire to use their powers to change the world long after they became lovers. Oh, okay. So they've been planting the seed of their relationship that far off. Yeah, Extreme X-Men #1 is when they introduced that they were lovers. And Extreme X-Men #1 came out in 2001. So this story of theirs them being together, it goes far back.
Yeah, I feel it's one of those unsung heroes that there's a reason they were unsung. Leave it.
But you know what? I will say I respect the fact that they did this, because at least now that I've looked it up, it's not like they just threw this at us. This has been in the lore since 2000 that they were together. And now that they're just changing who the father and mother are, the way it happened, they're just changing it because it's just like, oh, well, you guys thought I was the mother the whole time. Actually, I was the father the entire time, and his mother is this person.
But is Mystique even a good guy or a bad guy or neutral? What is she nowadays?
Mystique is chaotic neutral.
Whatever.
She does whatever she wants. She doesn't care about anybody. She's there for herself. That's
because for her, the thing that's cool, like you said, she's like an immoral, because essentially, unless you kill her,
right?
Because she could, and even at that, if you shoot her, technically, I think she could move. Like, I think she can move her organs.
Well, I mean, if you're telling me she can adjust herself on a molecular genetic level, she ain't dying. It sounds like she could just rejuvenate her youth whenever she wants.
But also, mind you, if she gets cut, hypothetically speaking, couldn't she like shapeshift and just
heal the cut, the wound?
Yeah.
Based on as I would understand it, if you're telling me someone can adjust themselves on a molecular level, I would say yes. But I would imagine they're not going to write it that she essentially has healing factor, because that would be an unfair thing.
She'd be overpowered at that point.
Yeah.
And it becomes boring to write for.
Right. Because you're essentially making her OP if she can just heal herself like Wolverine. True. Oh, you stabbed me. Oh, I can adjust myself on a molecular level. I just healed myself. Well, what's the point of this fight?
Well, exactly.
Like,
because then she'd be constantly shifting.
Right.
Because technically she'd be constantly. Imagine every time you punch her, she body changes just so that that didn't hurt.
Right. Just moving the cells around to, that's not really. All right. What did I have? What did I have on the docket?
You had your culprit.
Oh yeah, I did culprits.
And I'll talk about my culprit, how Scott Pilgrim has done a better job so far than that movie that came out.
So you're liking the animated show a lot.
I'm liking the so cool. First of all, if you need, I've always given.
I'll let you finish first, and I'll come in after.
Yeah, I've always given this hint to those trying to get their significant others into shows. Just like I said, if your significant likes The Boys, you should start watching Invincible. If you have the stereotypical partner that likes like random lovey-dovey stories, this go for this. My partner is loving this show. Actually, we've only watched about 2 episodes so far, but this is much more in depth compared to the movie. And
I mean, they have more time.
They have more time to do the rest of the comic book.
But not just that, but like. Again, I've personally never read the comic book, but he dies he looks like he dies, which I don't know what's going on there. But like, I was like, there's so many tangents within the first 2 episodes. It's like, it made you realize how fast and flash fried the movie was. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm not taking a stab at the movie. I know that like it was entertaining in general, right?
Yeah.
But like, I was like, after I was done watching this, I was like, I don't think I'm ever gonna watch that movie again, because this is if this season gets better, I'm never watching this movie again.
Because the comic series is how many issues?
I want to say, hold on, I'm looking it up right now. I was gonna say 6.
Right,
6 in total, and they're like thick, like manga volumes, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's it. Even my partner was like, "This is a very anime style, which I don't usually like your animes, but this is pretty entertaining."
Yeah,
and I will say,
and again, that's intentional because the comic books are drawn in a big-eyed anime style, and the action's more stylized than like anime.
Yeah,
I know with the movie finished before the 6th volume came out for Scott Pilgrim.
Oh,
so the movie had 2 endings because they didn't know how the actual manga was going to finish. So I think when the movie finally came, I think who's the guy that directed it? Edgar Wright. Edgar Wright, had the actual creator on hand, and he was like, "Dude, like I filmed both endings. Which one is it?"
Yeah.
And so in the end, I think the other ending was that he ends up getting back with Knives Chow.
Oh, okay.
Because when you watch the movie, they seem like they actually have a good relationship,
right?
Regardless of the age gap,
right?
And they seem like they get along pretty well.
She's an underage teenager.
And but because the comic ends with him going for Ramona Flowers, and that's the whole point of everything that he's doing, so then it goes in that direction. But I do know, like, stuff has to be cut for time. They're not going to put in should I? No, I won't say that. I won't. I'll do my best to not spoil the comic book and the video game, because I think the video game has other stuff that the comic book has as well.
Okay.
So like I would definitely like to watch it. I remember seeing online people were complaining that he died, and I'm like, yeah, he does, and he picks up a 1-up. Don't you remember that it happens in the movie? He dies in the movie and he gets a 1-up. So I mean, I'm pretty sure they want to try to spruce it up, maybe change a few things here and there.
This is like
the creator could do whatever he
right?
wants.
This is the whole thing. This is like Invincible. Kirkman wanted to retell the story better, update it. Now they're doing this Scott Pilgrim animated series. You did the movie. You got the entire same cast to come back to voice their characters. So you can get that same almost similar performance, but you get to animate it. So why not kind of update and change it just enough to match what to make it just a little bit better,
Yeah.
No, but overall, I mean, again, I've only seen the first 2 episodes, but like, it's funny because at the end of the first episode, he technically dies, right? And I was just like, right away, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Because I didn't really I didn't know.
You didn't remember in the movie, but that's the thing in the movie.
It's later on. Really, like it's
so
and it
goes
brief.
fast.
It's like 2 seconds. You're like, and then there's a whole episode, like, because like in the movie, it happens in like you said, it happens like what, in a 2-minute span or something like that, something super short.
Yeah.
Right. And in the show, in the second episode, like, you go to his funeral and stuff. Like, it's really like the whole second episode is him dead. And at the end,
that's funny.
Ramona has a very similar dream to like what he had at the beginning of the first episode. And then she's like, he's alive at the end.
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa, this is like, again, I don't know if it's because I won't lie. When I first saw the movie for the first time, and I won't lie, although I appreciate his comedy and he has a place in Hollywood, how he is as an actor and stuff, I've never been the biggest Michael Cera fan. So when I watched the movie, I was like, cool, like the fighting's cool, but like whatever, like, you know what I mean? But this, I was like, there's depth in like an actual story going on. I'm like, I like when we were at the end of the second episode, my partner had to go to bed, or sorry, she wanted to go to bed. And I gave her that look of like, so like, do you really like it? In my mind, I'm like, say no. So can I continue watching
this, please?
And the answer was a stern no. A stern no.
She wants to watch it with you?
Yeah, she likes it a lot.
I actually only watched the first episode. I don't know if my partner loved it, but we watched the first episode, and I'm down to watch the second episode. But we've been watching Doctor Who stuff because Doctor Who's back. By the way, Doctor Who's back for those of you who don't know. So,
but I do know for the movie they did have some like animated stuff that would kind of give you a little bit of backstory to Scott and his relationship with I guess his ex or one of his exes, because I know he said he dated his drummer, and in the movie he says I had to fight a bunch of dudes to get her, and then I found the guy that kidnapped her, and I kicked him so hard you saw the curvature of the earth. And it's like it's just a hand wave thing. But then if you watch the animated feature that they not feature, but like animated short they did for Adult Swim, is like you actually see him beating up a bunch of dudes and like wrecking that guy.
No, but it's
Allison Pill, right?
Allison Pills, I think, yeah.
But no, it was very, and again, there's I also find in how they did this anime style, like I find there's also a lot more information. Like it's really, and again, it's probably a la the manga or whatever. It's just I really like the video game feel. I really like how like when someone enters a room, there's like a little like chart that comes out to say like this is who this person is, and like that's little things. Like it's really cool. And again, it's just more in depth. Like you find out that he dated some fancy celebrity before she was popular, and like there's a bunch of like there's a lot more meat to this one, like ridiculous.
Yeah, that's
Brie Larson's character.
Brie Larson's character. Yeah. That comes up in the movie, but again, it's not you're not seeing it, but he's just like, I don't want to go because I know it is, and he's just all broken and like.
But I get what Dave is saying.
Catatonic and stuff.
I definitely understand. It's almost like when you hear people talk about the Harry Potter films.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people tell you like, and I never read the books, but so many people tell me like, if you knew how much they cut to make that movie, you'd be shocked. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, sad to hear it. Like,
I look at them and I say X-Men 1. Fuck off.
Yeah.
I saw a really funny Harry Potter meme where it's baby Harry Potter, Dumbledore's there, and he pulls out a Sharpie, and just so he remembers him, he writes where the scar is on his forehead. He writes next to it N-O-T. N-O. So he puts his scar is the N, and then he puts O, and then he puts parents, no parents.
Oh my
God. He's like, good. Now I know who this is.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
So brutal. All right. I guess we'll jump into Geek News and Rumors. I know you want to talk a little bit about wrestling, but you said you wanted to talk about it if Skinny was here and he's not here. Did you watch it? Josh, you watched it?
Do you know the crazy news?
But I saw all the memes.
Well, I think he wants to talk about
I saw the memes and I saw the memes and the the wrestlers that were there when he came out's reaction. Which are amazing.
Do you want to do a short
I'll do a short one. So in short, CM Punk is back in WWE after like a 10-year hiatus, which I wouldn't be so like upset about him returning to WWE if he just complained about that job for like a year after he left. This guy complained about WWE for 10 years straight up until like 6 months ago. He went to another company, called that company home.
Yeah.
Shit the bed hard there, as far as I'm concerned. A lot of people will maybe debate, maybe the AEW did him wrong and stuff, but like, no, it seems like he had a big ego and it probably got the best of him because that's how he's always been depicted.
Right.
And then he shows up at the current wrestling event, like the pay-per-view at the end. And what Jaws is insinuating is that literally as he's being like, hi, I'm here, you literally have a wrestler at the so he's at the top of the ramp, and at the bottom of the ramp, a guy who's gone into interviews and saying like, as much as this guy gave me like the spotlight when we were working together, he's been so toxic, I never wanted to work with him again. He's literally going like this and screaming fuck you at the guy. And then he comes on to Raw, and so the promo is the biggest hypocritical thing I've ever seen. He comes in, sucks the dicks of all the fans by saying, oh, I miss you. The reason why I want to come back, this place is my home. And you're like, your home? Like, I don't get it.
You
and
just called AEW your home.
Yeah, but here's the thing. The last thing he says, hard into the camera, as the last thing you hear on the show before it goes off, he's like, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money. And there I'm like, like that is both hypocritical of your entire promo. That is both hypocritical of your entire career. The message he has sent as a guy who's like, we got to do it for the fans. We got to tell good stories. Blah 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 blah. It's not about the money. It's about the art. And the last thing you say is this. And I found out today that apparently, and this is a rumor, but he has a really bad attitude problem. It's documented,
right?
Because if he doesn't get his way, he's basically like, it's implied that if he doesn't get his way, he acts a little bit like a little bitch. He takes his ball and goes home, as they say. apparently in his contract, he has a behavioral clause that if he breaks, they can fire him. Like, what type of drama? Literally, one guy who got released a few months ago, this guy named, I know his last name is Riddle. I forget his first name, but he used to be a UFC fighter, then kind of became, it's Matt Riddle. He used to be a UFC fighter and then became pro wrestler. Yeah. And like, this guy has all sorts of drama that comes his way, like all sorts, like blatantly starts fights with people, like has some domestic abuse shit going on. And he literally writes one of his memes. He's like, you thought you didn't like me, and now you have him. 0-2 WWE. 0-2. And a lot of people are just like, it's like the only reason I have because people are like, oh, it's gonna draw. I only watched this past week's Raw to see what he would say.
Right.
I've shot.
That's what they wanted, though.
I was at home screaming "fuck you" at my TV when he was talking.
That's what they want.
He did his job.
Here's the thing:
you mad so that you watch.
But here's the thing: this will last like 2 weeks, and then I'll be reading dirt sheets. Because here's the thing: if this guy if he survives, it's already clear he's going to be a shell of himself as a character, or he's just going to shit the bed and be gone in 6 months. Like,
hey man, if I can get those ratings up nice and high at the end of the quarter before the holiday, where the rest of the episodes I'm doing aren't even going to count towards my views because it's holiday season and everyone's going to be like, well, you know, those views don't count. People are running around doing holiday shopping. You're not going to get all the eyeballs. But if you get them right before, which he's doing, the Thanksgiving Day weekend, big push, the third end of the year, end of the quarter, he gets everybody angry. Everyone watches Raw on the Monday. He did what he did. He did exactly what he's supposed to do.
I know on my end, like the memes I've been seeing from like the wrestling stuff I watch on Facebook and everywhere else, is they're always like, if you're a casual fan, you care about CM Punk being there. If you're a real fan, then you're about R-Truth coming back. 27 timed 24/7 title, like right back. Like he's better than CM Punk. See, how many times did CM Punk win the 24/7 title? 0. How many times R-Truth held and defended it? 200 and something times.
Jesus Christ.
Who's more entertaining to watch, CM Punk or R-Truth? R-Truth makes you laugh. He's always defending that title.
But it's also, though, it's because he's a guy who like literally shot, like, the irony is the person who, like, because I'm pretty sure part of it is a work so that these guys, the guy who like really went and did the whole fuck you thing and all that, it's because he's the guy who did all the interviews where he was like, yeah, he gave me shine, but like, he kind of shat on this company. He said it best. He's like, he went on to an interview. He's like, I don't want to waste my interview time anymore on a person who hasn't been here for 10 years. I rather like take some time to say thank you to the backstage crew. And he just started thanking everyone else. And he's like, you want to know why?
Who was it that was thanking the
Seth Rollins? His name is Seth Rollins. Yeah. And he's like, I'm thanking them because while this guy was going out and slandering us, we all together made this the must see. We brought it back to must see type of television.
Right.
Because I think people don't understand that, like, with wrestling, with pro wrestling specifically, like the crew really helps you out. Like there's always like really cool little interesting things that happen because you're watching it on TV. They add to that. Like I know a lot of times when John Cena comes out, there's a specific cameraman. He's like, oh, yo, you made it out to Philly? All right, it's going to be a good match. And so when you see John Cena talking to the camera, he's actually talking to the cameraman, but you don't hear him because there's no mic on him. Right. So, but it's like a specific person he knows. He's like, oh, you're here, man. Good to see you, man. And he runs out. There's other stuff where the people in the control room are doing amazing stuff. Like I remember John Cena and The Rock had a rivalry against each other, and there was a part where The Rock interrupts John Cena in the ring, and he's just on the screen, and then like he disses him, and then he puts his hand up to the ceiling, and then he swipes, like he's literally doing a swipe downward as if he's pulling like a blind down, and then the swipe is coming down as if he's holding on to the swipe. Coming down. So it's just edited so well and done so well. And then you have marks that you have to hit, just like in TV shows and stuff. Like, hey, if I'm over here. Where should I stand so you can get me in the camera? Oh, you want to stand over here? Okay, good. I got you. I got that visual mark. And then so like there's a lot of, it's almost like when people talk about like who's really figuring out the frame in the scene in live, and people say like, well, Tom Cruise is that person, is that kind of actor, where he's not looking at it from his point of view, he's looking at it from the camera's point of view, and he'll be able to know like, okay, you're missing your mark. You need to, I'm going to put my hand over here and tell you to move in.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
we'll see how that trash pile goes.
For the wrestling fans, hopefully that was enough for you. As someone who doesn't watch wrestling, I did see the world shitting themselves over this return. It was all over all the social media except Twitter because, and you know, you guys have probably heard it, but I'll do it first here. Geek news and rumors. All the companies are pulling from Twitter. So Elon made some very bad remarks recently. And on the 17th of November, I think, or a little bit, 16th, 17th, people started noticing that a bunch of these companies, Disney Plus, Warner's, Lionsgate, like all these major studios, all these major companies, Johnson & Johnson, all of them, all these big companies, Frito-Lay, everybody was pulling their ads and they all just stopped tweeting. And one of the reasons that they said they didn't want to tweet anymore is because, you know, Elon talks about all this like free speech and stuff. And everyone's just like, cool, but I don't want my advertisements next to hate speech. So you have to flag hate speech. And Elon's like, free speech. And they're all like, okay, but I'm not going to advertise next to a possible KKK message or anti-Semitic message or you know, genocidal message. You have to filter something. And he was just like, free speech. And they're just like, no money. And they all just pulled their advertising. Supposedly, he has lost millions of dollars in advertising money as everyone has pulled.
Can I give everybody some investment advice?
I'll let you hit us.
Don't buy you know, a social media thing. I mean, you know, like
$44 billion on a social media platform.
He bought that. Kanye West bought which one? Parler?
Did Kanye buy Parler?
I think he bought it off of Owens's husband or something, or he actually, I can't remember. I have to double check. I have to hold on a second. Let me.
But all that to say, yeah, if you're gonna invest in this space, be wary of the fact that your advertising money is what keeps the platform alive. And Elon has been saying supposedly since day one, he plans to monetize the platform. So people are going to have to pay either an annual subscription or a monthly subscription of some kind, probably, you know, and what they call it freemium, where, you know, you have a free version, but if you pay, you get a premium version of it, which I think that's pretty much where all the streaming platforms are going. They're going to be freemium. Like you get the ad version, and then without ads, you get your premium version. And Twitter is going in that direction. He's going to make that pivot at some point soon, and we'll see how it goes. I don't think it will do well.
Just going to say Kanye did not buy Parler, and that was last year, December.
Okay.
It unraveled. The deal unraveled.
Right. If anything, he was just.
I was like, unraveled.
One of the few times Kanye was smart enough.
That was one of the lucid things he had. Like, oh, wait a minute, I should buy this. It's stupid.
But yeah, so if you guys are fans of Twitter, if you know, like Dave was talking about the dirt sheets and stuff like that, I know a lot of that stuff is on social media, and Twitter is one of those spaces where I see a lot of people talking about that stuff. Those platforms, that platform is probably going to start seeing a pretty big hit. And I don't know if Threads will pick up the slack, but you know, fingers crossed something else can come along and have the fans still give the fans a space where they can exchange those small pieces of information. Because Facebook's a little long in the tooth at this point, and Instagram isn't really the same kind of interface. Like sometimes you just want to scroll and be like headline and be like, oh, I want to read more, click that, you know. And Instagram and Facebook aren't the best for that. What else do we got? Godfather of Harlem renewed for season 4 over at MGM Plus Studios, which is now owned by Amazon. So essentially Amazon is giving Forrest Whitaker another chance at playing one of them great characters, historical characters. So Godfather of Harlem renewed for season 4 at MGM Plus. We also have news that the The Boys Mexico spinoff is in the works at Amazon, which is kind of crazy. Did you guys expect them to try and turn The Boys into a international, or I guess technically North American brand? Yeah, right.
I was already skeptical about. I haven't watched it, and you guys have mentioned.
I will say
I've heard you guys have said it's good. So, and at the same time, like it is the type of it's the type of show or platform of a show that could easily branch off. Like I could see how they could do that, but I don't know. I worry more about oversaturation because at least with Gen V, it's like you're going from like, well, this is really adult content to like, let's just bring it down to like a different generation.
Yes,
because maybe Gen V could drag you to The Boys.
Right.
But I'm not like. It's not like getting a Mexico vibe is now gonna make like, you know, when I like.
Yeah, like
I don't know.
In my eyes, Gen V is smart because The Boys is probably going to end soon, and what you're doing is you're starting the next generation of the series early. So once we get attached to Gen V and The Boys ends, Gen V grows up, and we continue watching their story. And then you can do like Saved by the Bell, where you just have different younger heroes coming through the pipeline, and you get those stories season after season.
I feel it's kind of similar to how they did what was it called? Sons of Anarchy, and they did the Mayans afterward.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
But the Mayans is something that, example, when you watch Sons of Anarchy, the Mayans are there. So there's the concept of like, oh, what is this other biker gang? There is.
I'm sure we're gonna start seeing the Mexican heroes in the next season. Because remember, the strike happened; they didn't even film it yet, so they're only starting to film the new season now. If you're announcing this is the perfect time to tell the writers, hey, put in this guy in the background, that guy, this guy. They're all going to show up because we need to make Mexico a thing. And also, don't forget, we are getting The Boys. We got Gen V, The Boys next season. The next Gen V season, season 2, and then we're supposed to get something else, which you can then make Mexico. So you can have Mexico crossover in The Boys season 5, and then Gen V, or The Boys season 4 or 5, whichever one's coming up next. Gen V season 2, a little more sprinkle, and next thing you know, you have the Boys Mexico season.
It's possible. I mean, again, like
the
all
Boys
ideas are good if they're executed right. If it's executed properly, it's always like a good idea, right? Like it always depends.
Mexico's not in Latam for those of you who are about to get mad.
But
that's Latin America.
It's like Walking Dead, right? Like I didn't need those other spin-offs.
And to be honest, I don't know how well they're doing because I don't hear anyone talking about them, which is not necessarily a good thing. I didn't hear like other than the Daryl Dixon one where he's in Europe, which I heard some good stuff about, but the one where they're in New York, my partner and I watched a few episodes and we fell off it. We didn't go back, and I personally was just like, okay, this is okay, but I'm not seeing any major development here. You're both just playing the same characters you played on the show, but now you're by yourselves. And you have a mute girl with you for some reason that I'm supposed to find interesting, but I ultimately didn't care about. Sorry. You can't put a mute girl there and be like, hey, there's going to be an interesting backstory here soon. You keep interested, and I'm just like, no, I don't care. I don't. It just doesn't interest me. Last bit of news we have: Loki creator Michael Waldron to write Marvel Studios' Avengers: The Kang Dynasty. Guys, we have 90 seconds to react to this. Do we even want to?
Sure. I mean, that's my reaction. Sure.
Yeah.
That was well done.
At least you're keeping on the game plan, because that was the game plan. So at least you're not shitting the bed. But
it sucks Skinny's not here because this feeds into what Skinny was saying. Because if you were gonna have the dude that did Loki and he might have ideas about how to continue this is the perfect person to write that.
Yeah. But this also makes me feel that ultimately Loki is going to be the solution of this movie,
which I'm worried about. But that is what Skinny was telling us.
Because like if it's gonna be one of these things where basically Kang wins and then Loki's like, no, it's gonna be like, okay.
I still don't like the idea that what we saw at the end of Loki is the end of the Kang Dynasty thing where Loki is fixing stuff. I would find that a little lame. But this does lean towards what Skinny has been saying, where you end it with Loki doing that. Because this is all theoretical, but we'll see. We'll see. Anyways, boys, we got to sign off. Folks, we want to thank you once again for tuning into another edition of Geek-tastic Cypher. here on Free X Agents Media and Geektastic Cypher on Twitch. And Jaws, what do you want to tell the people?
Check out Transformers Slag and oh man, I keep forgetting the second one. I'm so bad at this.
Toy Armada!
Toy Armada with Aaron Archer.
All right, folks. And we'll be back with another one. Peace, everybody. Have a good one.
Peace.